Omagyanatmirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Class, to all the brahmacharis, I would like to speak about love. Love. If you don't get married, if you remain as a brahmachari, then what about love? You'll miss love. That's the best reason to become a brahmachari. So you don't get mixed up in all this so-called love. Because love in this material world is a great hoax. What goes on in the name of love? Affection in married life was previously quite prominent, but they never talk about love, but rather husband and wife would live together, living a religious life with this idea of serving God, living a pious life, and in this way there was some affection. But in the modern world, everyone is just interested in their own sense gratification. So especially in the modern world, what goes on in the name of love is just, if someone is useful for someone else's sense gratification, they say they like them or they love them. And in family life also, there are so many cases of, we find husband and wife, I'm talking about in India now, I know several examples. The husband gets posted to another city and the wife says, I'm staying here. I've got my job, you go. Husband, I can find another husband, no problem. You go. Like that. Sanatana Goswami Das was a householder, but then he joined the Hare Krishna movement and his wife said, well, I want to go for dancing. He said, I'm dancing, but Hare Krishna dance. And then she said, no, I don't like that. So, she found another husband, no problem. There are plenty of men around. As soon as he became no longer a cooperator with her sense gratification, then the love finished. I was just discussing this upstairs with one of our Grihastha devotees, how his family members, if they come to know he's at the temple, I say, you're just wasting your time. But if they know he's at the office, they think, oh, that's very good. So sometimes he goes to the temple in the evening and goes back to the office to sleep at night and phones up and phones up from the office and they can see which number, they can see it's the office number. Someone who loves you is calling. Where are you? You're at work or at the temple? So they see his office number and they say, well, I couldn't come back because I'm busy at the office, so I have to stay here overnight. Say, oh, very good. You're promoting your career. But if he phones up from the temple and says, I'm at the temple and I couldn't come back, they say, what? Because there's no sense gratification for them. If they think he's promoting his career, very good. We love you so much, but if you get a job in America, that's fine. We won't see you except for a few days a year. But you send us money, that's great. We really love you for that. Love in this material world means how much sense gratification you can get out. I was just saying to one young man here who's interested in joining the temple as a full-time brahmachari. So I asked, will your parents approve? And I'm pretty sure what the answer is going to be. There's very few parents who will send their child, yes, go, dedicate your life to Krishna. They won't. As they dedicate your life to us, they see you as, the love for the child means they see you as a walking money machine. They've invested so much time and energy, and because they want, afterwards they'll shake you up, shake all the money up, work hard, and even if you get, health problems and stress, and they don't care, you just go on, study, and then get a job and work hard day and night. And you should do it. And never mind if you're going crazy and you hate it, but, we love you. You should do it for us. Bring the money, bring more money, more money, more money. I've seen one young man joined as a brahmachari in one of our temples. Actually, the family members came and said, please take him to join your movement. I was surprised. Then after some time they said, no, give him back. And I didn't agree, but they put so much pressure on him that he went back. They were saying that your mother she'll die if she doesn't see you. He said, she just has to see you. Unless she sees you all the time, unless you're living at home, she can't live. So he went home to Chennai, and after some time he got a job in Bangalore, and amazingly her disease of not being able to see him had been cured. As long as the money was coming from Bangalore, that she didn't have to see him anymore. She was, he was quite okay. So, what I have read in Shastra about family life, the love in family life being just a hoax, I'm quite convinced of this. I've seen so many examples. Of course, there may be Krishna conscious family life in which husband and wife cooperate. But I've seen even among devotees, many times the wife is pushing the husband, work more, get more money. They don't need more money, but they have enough money to live, and they could spend that time becoming more Krishna conscious, but instead the wife is pushing. Bring work, spend more time, work, bring more money, just like a kami. So, that's one very good reason to stay a brahmachari, to avoid love. Love is very dangerous. It takes up all your time and energy and spoils your life. So be careful. Don't be attracted by love, this so-called love. It's so bogus. On the Hindi movies, Hindi, Telugu, I suppose it's all the same. They show love, and then the young man and woman, and they see each other, and then all of a sudden they're transported to Kashmir, and there's a whole dancing troupe and an invisible orchestra. And the real life is, get out to work! Bring more money. Why don't you bring more money? That's real life. You don't know so much about it. But that's... And never satisfied. Never satisfied. Whatever you bring, they're never satisfied. Always want more. Sometimes I ask in a public lecture I'll say that everyone after they get married, as soon as they get married, all their problems increase hundreds of times. And is it true? And yes. All the men will say yes immediately. Immediately so. So this is one side of seeing. The other side of seeing is that we should find out what is real love with Krishna. One cannot remain a brahmachari simply by negative understanding. But that must be there though. Because if we talk of love of Krishna but we don't know how love of Krishna is distinguished from love of Maya, then it'll be simply sentimentalism and we won't be able to maintain. We have to see both sides. Sometimes devotees are accused of being very negative. Yeah, we are very negative about this material world because there's nothing good in it. You say, well, what about all the good things in life? You can have nice social life, and you can go to gardens, and the pleasure of seeing your children pass through school, and all bogus, all useless. There's nothing of any value in this material world. The only valuable thing is to cultivate Krishna consciousness, to cultivate our love for Krishna. But we have to be very careful to distinguish that love for Krishna from this mundane love which traps us the nature of mundane love is that it traps us in a situation where it's very difficult to think of Krishna. We become attached to Krishnetara, all that which is not related to Krishna, and you have to work hard to maintain all that, and that is so much endeavor goes in maintaining a family, and it's very difficult to concentrate on Krishna. So you should be very much aware of this, that as brahmacharis, you don't have to do anything but cultivate Krishna consciousness. You're very fortunate to have this situation. if you don't take proper advantage of this, if you just use your time for living comfortably, eating and sleeping with a little bhajan in between, then you won't be able to remain. You'll become discontent, and then you'll hanker after the love of this material world. So be careful. That's all for now. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.